A statewide ban on evictions is over, but there is hope for renters struggling to make payments because of the coronavirus. University of Virginia students launch an online campaign to get their peers involved in politics leading up to November's presidential election. It is 5:30. Your news at Sunrise continues now.
Live in high definition from the area's most experienced news team, this is NBC 29 HD News at Sunrise.
Good morning, I'm Matt Talhelm. Thanks for waking up with us on this Tuesday, September 8th, and happy first day of school to all of our friends in Charlottesville, Albemarle, Greene, Fluvanna. I know a lot of you are starting it virtually, so it'll be a little bit different this year, but if you do have to head out to the bus stop, let's find out what we can expect from that forecast. David Rogers is tracking it for us. Everyone's pretty much back to school now, I guess, David.
Yeah,
Thank you, David. Taking a look at our top stories on this Tuesday morning, a statewide ban on evictions is over after the Virginia Supreme Court denied Governor Ralph Northam's request to extend it. That ban expired Monday. However, tenants can still apply for an eviction ban under the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That can stop evictions already in progress. Tenants will still be required to pay back all rent and late fees. Renters cannot make more than $99,000 a year and must show they tried other options to make their rent but were ultimately unsuccessful. The CDC's ban lifts January 1st, and that is when tenants will be required to pay back all those months. Videos circulating on social media are raising the alarm on large gatherings and social distancing at the University of Virginia. Check out this one. It was viewed by thousands on Twitter. It shows a flood of students at Observatory Hill Dining Hall. UVA Student Council President Ellen Yates says the university closed all the kitchens in dorms, so now students who are especially first years depend on dining halls for their meals. Yates says they don't have much of a choice but to go and wait in those lines. In a statement to NBC 29, the university says dining team members will monitor those lines and encourage proper social distancing throughout all meal periods. Scientists at the University of Virginia are digging deep into the pipes on grounds to detect the coronavirus. Infectious disease physicians and engineers on grounds are testing the wastewater from dorms to try to prevent the spread of the virus. They started this testing in June. The university says it plans to test the wastewater 6 days a week. Samples are gathered every 15 minutes in the morning and then taken to the health system for a screening. UVA is collaborating with Syracuse University, which had a lot of success with its own wastewater testing model. Our time is 5:34. Here's a look at some of the stories we're tracking for you later today on NBC 29. Virginia's House of Delegates and Senate could face off in a showdown when it comes to police reform. Delegates passed several key changes in a special session, but with some major differences from bills passed in the state Senate. Today on NBC 29, we'll break down where those two chambers don't see eye to eye and take a look at where things are headed from here. Well, it is tough to beat the University of Virginia when it comes to the best college value for your money. Money Magazine just ranked UVA the second best value education among American public universities, behind the University of Michigan. We'll hear from students as they start in-person classes today. Slowly but surely, traffic is picking up at airports across the country. The holiday weekend saw some decent numbers, but that's relatively speaking when you compare it to air travel since the start of the pandemic back in March. Later today on NBC 29, we're checking in with Charlottesville Albemarle Airport to see what it anticipates travel looking like for the rest of the year. To Decision 2020 now at 5:35. Students at the University of Virginia are getting involved in this November's election, and they're making waves on social media while doing it. NBC 29's Daniel Grimes has the details on the Decency project. Lights, camera, action. Movie theaters are back in business just in time to close out the summer season for blockbusters on the big screen. We'll take a look at how audiences are responding in Central Virginia. It is 5:37 on this Tuesday morning, the first day of school for a lot of you kids out there this morning. Get up and at 'em. I know probably not the most fun, probably a little grumpy out there today. We're glad you're up with us though. We have your full forecast next. Welcome back at 5:45. There's a company in Charlottesville that's a biomedical manufacturer, and it's using 3D printing to build better knee braces. Icarus Medical uses adjustable tension with elastic bands to counter the pressure placed on bending knees. The company's first product, the Icarus Ascender knee brace, is less than half the weight of current knee braces. Icarus CEO Dave Johnson says relieving knee and joint pain is key to maintaining an active and healthy lifestyle. The company's first product is set to debut in October. It uses iPhone scanning to create custom 3D printed braces. The Charlottesville City Market is on the move again. It started operating at Dardental Park in mid-June, but Albemarle County is getting ready to use that space to host athletic activities. So the drive-through version of the market will move to Charlottesville High School. The drive-through market allows customers to pre-order and pay online, keeps the transactions as contactless as possible. The market will open for business at CHS on Saturday from 8 until noon. Several movie theaters in Central Virginia are back open, and managers say attendance is actually starting to look closer to normal again. Audiences turned out at Regal Stonefield and Alamo Drafthouse to see Tenet, The New Mutants, and other films over the holiday weekend. Masks are required and capacity is limited with spaced out seating. Alamo Drafthouse reopened 2 weeks ago, and managers say they are steadily rebuilding their audience. Despite coronavirus concerns, they say guests are thrilled to be back. For customers who want to be extra cautious, Alamo is allowing theater goers to rent a private screening. You can rent out a theater there. It costs $150. Shenandoah National Park is bustling with tourists. A line of cars greeted guests at the entrance to Skyline Drive all weekend. Park rangers say the campgrounds were booked Monday night with more than 100 reservations at Big Meadows. And they believe more people traveled short distances for their 3-day holiday weekend because of the pandemic. Park rangers ask that visitors make sure you throw away your trash. They say they have seen many bags of garbage just piled up outside the containers. Staff at Liberty University are told not to interact with the school's ousted president, Jerry Falwell Jr. In an email to staff, University General Counsel David Corey says Falwell made uncomfortable calls to some employees after resigning last week. Corey tells employees they cannot give Falwell information about the school or do any favors for him while on the job because it could create the perception he's still helping manage the school. Falwell's departure came after revelations of his wife's extramarital affair, and it roiled the school founded by his father. Fires in Richmond caused nearly $4 million in estimated damages over the first 18 days of protests this summer. A Richmond Fire and EMS analysis shows city fire crews responded to 48 fires between May 29th and June 15th. That cost does not account for anything ruined inside the structures. Covering America now at 5:49, President Trump heads to Florida and North Carolina today. The president is visiting those two battleground states that are important to his re-election campaign. First, the president will deliver remarks on the environment at the Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse in Florida. Then he heads to Winston-Salem, North Carolina for a campaign rally at an airport. This will be President Trump's third visit to North Carolina in 3 weeks. The supposed tell-all by President Trump's former personal attorney Michael Cohen is out today. The book alleges President Trump made overt and covert attempts to get Russia to interfere in the 2016 election. It is called Disloyal, the true story of the former personal attorney to President Donald J. Trump. The book also describes episodes of the president's alleged racism and hatred of former President Barack Obama. The White House calls the book fan fiction. The world's highest tally of coronavirus cases passed another milestone. More than 190,000 people in the U.S. are now dead from COVID-19. That's according to a running tally from NBC News. New York, New Jersey, Texas, and California report the highest number of deaths. Researchers from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation say deaths could skyrocket to 3,000 a day in December if those current trends continue. They say deaths could be reduced by 30% if more Americans just wore face masks. That's a habit that's actually on the decline. Taking a look at world news now at 5:51. A court in Saudi Arabia sentenced 8 people in the murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. He was killed and dismembered inside the Saudi consulate in Turkey. The 8 were sentenced to prison terms of up to 20 years. The CIA found Saudi Arabia's crown prince likely ordered that assassination in 2018. He denies responsibility. A powerful typhoon is flooding roads, knocking out power and damaging buildings in South Korea. Cars struggled to navigate some of those flooded roads in coastal cities. Thousands of people were evacuated as a precaution. Typhoon Haishen battered southern Japan earlier. Japanese officials say 1 person was killed, 4 are missing, and at least 38 others are injured. Today is Star Trek Day. It is the day the original Trek series premiered in 1966. We will show you how one fan is celebrating this anniversary with a little help from a very popular song. We're coming up on 5:54 on this Tuesday morning. Thank you for starting your day with us as we take a live look over a dark and quiet downtown Charlottesville. We will see you with more news in just 2 minutes. Welcome back at 5:56. Today marks the celebration of Star Trek Day, and what better way to celebrate than with an out-of-this-world Star Trek themed cover of a song by Queen. Rick Damigella beamed down this story.